It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all in our second day of 8th Virtual Grand Career Fair. That is a tour to galaxy of opportunities in Kamal Model Senior Secondary School, where students are brought closer to their potential to meet the best career choices for themselves. It is my greatest opportunity to showcase a ton of careers that may become your profession tomorrow. Success is where preparation and opportunity meets. Welcome to the Grand Career Fair of Kamal Model Senior Secondary School, our second day of a 4-day long journey where we will be showcasing a virtual family concerted discussion for a better future.
My friend suggested me a career fair, and I think we should go there.
Career fair? What is the need of a career fair when you already decided that you will become a chartered accountant?
Yes, I know. Even my friend had also planned her career way before. But after visiting this career fair, she explored so many different opportunities coming to her ahead. So, if I have a resource, why can't I use it?
You are right. Moreover, we will come to know about the various hiring processes and also get acquainted with the experienced person.
Welcome to the Career Fair. I, Paris, will be your resource person for today. Career Fair gives the chance to students to meet the career experts and discuss about potential jobs or career fields approaching them in the future. This embraces their capabilities and enhances their choices. Dreams are extremely important. You can't do it unless you imagine it. And it is what you achieve. That's what defines the career. Let's begin our journey with the introduction to the first field of the second day of Grand Career Fair. This field is an exciting profession, that is actuarial science. An interview has been organized with an expert who has pursued actuarial science, that is Mr. Shubham Jain. So, let's
A very warm welcome to all of you present here. I am Naman Podar, the student of Kamal Model School, welcomes you to the Career Fair 2021-22. Well, I, on behalf of everyone present here, welcomes Mr. Shubham Jain, who has done actuarial science from Institute of Actuaries of India, and he is currently working as an actuarial analyst at WNS Gurugram. Sir, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So, let's have a deep dive into the career of actuarial science with the help of Mr. Shubham Jain. So, my first question to you, sir, is please tell us something about your profession.
Okay. So, my name is Shubham Jain, and I have done my master's from University of Delhi. And I am in this actual profession from past 5 years, and it requires like mathematical complex calculations. And currently, I'm working as an actuarial analyst at WNS Gurgaon.
Well, that's very nice to hear it. Moving on to the next question. Our aspirants are very curious to know that how one can enter into this career. Should we have to face any entrance exam, or we have to get into a college or university to get a degree of actuarial science? How can we pursue into this career exactly?
This is not a degree course; it is a certification course. It's a professional course like CA, and there are two professional popular body in India. One is Institute of Actuaries of India, which is based in Mumbai, and you have to appear for an entrance exam to pursue this career from III. And there is another popular body which is known as Institute and Faculties of Actuaries, which is usually known as IFOA. This body is based in UK, so there is no entrance exam to start career with IFOA.
Well, that's very informative, sir. Moving on to the next question, we are very desperate to know that how you enter into this career. I mean, who or what inspired you to choose actuarial science as a career?
During my school time, I asked one of my senior to guide me which career should I choose. So he informed me about this career profession. Then I researched about this and I found it interesting. So I chose it as my career. Yeah.
Well, that's very amazing, sir. So, as we all know, there are certain ups and downs in everyone's life. So, I want to know you that how you managed your hurdles and difficulties during your preparation times.
See, failure is something, the more you feel, more it hurts. So don't take it as a failure. Just take it as an opportunity to improve yourself. So I take this failure as an opportunity, so it don't impact me much.
Well, that's an eye opener for us, sir. So, what was the key for motivation for you during your preparation times?
Since I'm doing what I like to do, so there is no external source of motivation required to me. So yeah, it comes from internal because I'm liking what I'm doing. So yeah, this is out of my interest.
Yes, okay, sir. So, next question to you is, what are the skills one need to possess to be an actuarial analyst?
Okay. So actual analysis is just a starting point for this profession. The final goal is to become a fellow member of the actuaries. So one need to have like analytical minding and has to be much patient because it requires a lot of time to complete this profession. And yeah, these two main qualities, and one have to be effective communicator as well.
Well, very well informed, sir. We were not aware about it. So, before winding up the interview, money, as we all know, money matters a lot when you are about to plan or choose a career. So, I want to know you that what is the minimum remuneration one can get while doing a job as actuarial analyst?
It varies person to person, but as a starting point, I can say one given the current position, the starting package is around 4 to 6 lakh per annum. But it
That-
varies person to person and company to company.
Well, that's very fascinating, sir. So thank you for giving your precious time to us, and I hope everyone present here should have enough knowledge to pursue in this career. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for providing such valuable information. I was not much aware about the eligibility criteria of this profession earlier.
Let's move ahead, and I will show you the next fascinating career which you may like. This is the most popular and well known career field, that is Chartered Financial Analyst, which is presented by our wonderful students.
Hi Salakshay.
Hi Mac, how are you?
I'm good. What's about you?
I am all good. But Mac, what's the matter? I haven't seen you for a long time. What happened to you?
Actually, I had my exams. That's why I was very busy.
Oh, so how are your exams?
They were good.
So Mac, what do you think to do after 12th standard?
I'm just thinking of courses right now. I have heard something about CA, CS, and jobs in banking services.
Haven't you heard about CFA? It's also a good career to follow.
Yeah, I only heard about CFA, but I don't know in detail about it.
I have an idea. My cousin is CFA. We can go to him and clear our all doubts.
Okay, let's go.
Hello Shivam. She is my friend Mac.
Hello.
Hello. Hello Salakshay. After a long time we are meeting. How are you?
We are all good. But Shivam, at present we are here to discuss you something.
Okay, what's your problem? I am ready to discuss with you.
Shivam, we want to know about CFA. Can you please tell us in briefly what is CFA?
CFA is Chartered Financial Analyst. It is a certification based program which is conducted by CFA Institute of US.
That's interesting. But Shivam, what are the qualifications required for the CFA?
Yes, for this the person should have a bachelor's degree or be in the final year of bachelor's degree at the time of registration for CFA exams.
Can you tell me what are the skills required for this profession?
Yes, for being a good CFA, the person must have analytical skills, decision making skills, and the most important, that is math skills.
Okay.
But Shivam, what are the analytical skills?
Analytical skills. These skills refer to the part that helps in understanding the trends or patterns in data and draw meaningful conclusions from them.
That's great.
But Shivam, is there any entrance exam for this course?
No. The CFA course has no entrance examination. Firstly, the candidate need to register themselves before starting with the course. The CFA course has 3 levels to pass. The CFA level 1, level 2 and level 3.
Okay.
Can you name some good colleges in India?
There are many good colleges in India such as Sri Chimanbhai Patel Institute of Professional Training in Ahmedabad, Central India Institute of Management Studies in Jabalpur, Narayana Business School which is also in Ahmedabad, and last International College of Financial Planning in New Delhi.
There
There
are
were
many
many
colleges. But Shivam, can you please tell me what are the job opportunities in India in this field?
The job opportunities for a CFA is majorly in the field of finance. They have a career in investment banking, portfolio management, and among other sought after professions, there is a vast variety of finance jobs that are available to a CFA.
That's
Okay.
nice. Can you tell me something about remuneration in this field?
Yes, the average starting salary for a CFA is around 7 lakhs per year. And average starting salary of a starting CFA is around 4 lakhs per year. However, the highest salaries can be exceed to 16 lakhs also.
It's a
That's
big
a-
amount. Thank you, Shivam, for clearing our doubts to related to CFA. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Extremely good.
Does this field only center on how to create a business or all other aspects are also included?
Of course, it covers more than that. It focuses on how to manage a business by combining management, accounting, finance, and marketing. You all may have heard it that a key to achieve success is to assemble a strong and stable management. And to prove this right, our students are presenting a video that will provide you the information that you need to know about this career.
In scene 1, Meena is sitting in her room. She is very sad and she is all alone now and uttering something to herself. I don't know what to do. I'm not able to get better career. God knows what will happen to me in future.
Meena, good morning. How are you?
Not
What
well.
happened to you now?
I'm in class 12 now and I have not decided my career yet.
Okay, so why to worry? Tell me frankly, what do you want to become in future? Which line do you love to choose?
After completing my 12th standard, I would like to go in management field.
Excellent, that sounds great. But do you have any idea about this field?
Hina, but I want to know all about it. Exactly, I don't know the clear meaning of management. What is management?
Well, don't worry. One of my friends is in the field management. Yes, let me make a call to her.
Hello Hina, how are you? I'm good. I hope you also be fine. Yes.
If you don't mind, would you help my sister Meena in choosing the right career as she is being very confused now? If she wants, she can choose or go for management.
Yeah, the same she was looking for.
Oh, Hina, how are you?
I'm fine. Meet my sister Meena. She has so many doubts in her mind related to the management field. Kindly help her.
Okay, sure. Why not? As we all know that management is important in every organization. It is art of knowing what you want to do and then see that it is done in the best and the cheapest way. It is a people's job and the manager coordinates the work of other people to ensure that the unit is run efficiently and profitably. What are the qualifications required for it?
10 plus 2 is mandatory after 12 standard. There are some courses and bachelor degrees like BMS, Bachelor of Management Studies, BBS, Bachelor of Business Studies, BBM, Bachelor of Business Management, and BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration.
What are the skills required for it?
The required skills for this are leadership quality, time management, problem solving capability, decision making skills, communication, ability to work under pressure, strategic planning abilities, etc.
That's great. Could you tell me about some famous colleges?
Why not? Yes, some government colleges are Indian Institute of Management, Kerala, Ahmedabad, Indore, Kolkata, Lucknow. Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, Pune. Faculty of Management Studies, FMS, Delhi University.
Rita, one very important question. What will be the salary package for this?
Maximum and minimum salary in management in India. Maximum salary is 4,50,000 and minimum salary is rupees 3 lakh per year. Jobs you get for this are first, marketing manager, rupees 6.5 lakh per year. Second, financial manager, rupees 4,83,075 lakh per year. Third, public relations manager, rupees 4.3 lakh per year. Fourth, general manager, rupees 18 lakh per year. Fifth, human resources manager, rupees 28 lakh 4,565 per year.
Great. Thank you, Hina and Rita, for giving me such an important information to me. Thank you so much. Now I think I can pursue this career.
As I said earlier, we are having thousands of fields for you. So let's move further to the next stall of the career fair. That is banking and insurance, wherein our class 11 students made a presentation and enlightened about its eligibility, process, and job profile. Please have.
Opportunities don't happen, you create them. Every day is the beginning of your career. Greetings to all. Today I, Bhumika Goswami, along with my partner Rahat Arora, will tell you about career in banking and insurance sector. Jobs in banking and insurance sector have always been in demand. Moreover, these segments also rank top when it comes to generating employment. Now, a question arises that why many people are opting jobs in this sector? So here are the few reasons. They will have good social standing, they will get competitive compensation, and at last, they will be provided with high job security. Moving further, most of the banking aspirants has the question that how to start career in banking and insurance sector. So for that also we have few points. So you must have a right degree in economics or finance, and second, you should prepare for and appear for bank exams, and at last you should have a master course and grab trending diploma certificate of that time. Now, we must possess some skills according to a particular field. So here are few skills that are required for this career. Customer dealing. So the candidate must have the ability to deal with the customers and must have good listening qualities. Second, analytical skills. He or she must have the ability to juggle multiple projects at a particular time and to deconstruct information into small categories. He or she must have good and very well knowledge of accounting information and numbers, and at last, he or she must possess good communication skills and must be confident while speaking to his colleagues or customers. Now, we all know that if we appear for an exam, we should know the exam pattern. So here it is. First, prelims exams. In this exam, you will get questions based on reasoning ability, numerical ability, and English language. Second stage is of mains exams. In this exams, you will have to answer to the questions such as data analysis, general, economy, and English language. At last, but not the least, the most important stage is of interview. In this, your mains exams will be considered and penalty will be there for every wrong answer. Moving further, let's have a look on how to get jobs in banking and banking sector in India. Here is the process. First is recruitment process. So to clear the recruitment process, the candidate must possess all the required qualifications. Second is major role of interview. So once the candidate clear the recruitment process, he is sent for an interview and the bank select those candidates who are futuristic and dedicated to increase the business of the bank. Last, choosing various job profiles from the jobs. So the candidate will be given job from the various job profile according to their talent and knowledge. Now, moving further, let's have a look on some of the preparation strategies that will help you to ace bank exams, PO exams, and clerical exams. First, you should take tests regularly. After completion of one topic daily, you should take tests of that particular topic daily if you want to ace these exams. Second is study plan. You must have an effective study plan to ace these exams. Next, you have to choose your study material wisely and properly. Now, if you want to clear these exams in first attempt, you should have a proper study resources and materials. Second is study plan. You must have an effective study plan to ace these exams. Next, you have to choose your study material wisely and properly. Now, if you want to clear these exams in first attempt, you should have a proper study resources and materials. You have to work on your weak areas. Now, do revision timely, and at last, you have to stay positive. Now, if you are opting a job in banking and insurance sector, and if you are an aspirant, you must have an inspiration. So here are the few top Indian bankers from whom you can take inspiration. Naina Lal Kidwai, Ramesh Sopti from IndusInd Bank, Shikha Sharma from Axis Bank, Uday Kotak from Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Rana Kapoor from Yes Bank.
Age criteria. Age limit for clerical exam is 18 to 28 years and candidate must pass 12th exam with 60% aggregate. For bank PO, candidate must graduate with 55% aggregate and the age limit is 21 to 26 years. Now there are few exams for banking aspirants. First, SBI PO, SBI clerk, IBPS PO and IBPS clerk. Now there are few job opportunities in banking industries. First, business operator. This job is all about the operating of finance company. Second, insurance claimer. Insurance claimer inspect and evaluate the property to decide if the person are able to earn the payment of insurance company. Third, risk manager. Risk manager will oversee the organization of risk management program. Next, salary and remuneration in banking and insurance. First, business development manager 2,23,000 to 5,87,000. Insurance sales agent 2,50,000 to 4 lakh. Commercial bankers 4 lakh to 5 lakh. And the last, loan officer 4 lakh to 4,50,000. Now there are few diploma and certificate in banking and insurance. First, diploma in banking and finance, graduate certificate in banking and finance, PGDM in banking and financial services, PGDM in banking management, and the last, BBA in banking and finance.
In banking and insurance, trust is the only thing you have to sell. Thank you very much for your attention.
Basically, in this field, can we pursue it after 12th?
Yes, you can pursue this particular field just after 12th. There are numerous career fields that you can take into account for the best results.
Oh, great to hear that.
Now let's move to another field which is globally valued career, that is entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is the act of creating a business by building and scaling it to generate profit. Our students made a presentation for explaining the key facts of entrepreneurship.
Nowadays, nobody wants to have a life slummed over a 9-to-5 desk job. With each passing day, the competition is growing, and to make sure that we are not left behind, it's very important for a person to be competitive and creative. For a person who is ready to take risk in life, because no pain, no gain. Let's move to the scene 1, where brother is working on the laptop and sister comes from school.
Do you really feel curious working on laptop 9 to 5 will give you whatever you want in your life?
Yeah, I am satisfied with my work.
But Arun, I am thinking of doing something of my own, but I don't know how to start it.
Don't worry, I have a friend. She is a well-set entrepreneur and she can guide you about this.
Okay.
The brother and the sister goes to the friend's office.
Hello Divyanka, it's been so long we have met. How are you?
Hello Arun, it's really been so long. I'm fine.
Please meet my sister. She's Megha.
Hello Megha,
Hello.
how are you?
I am fine.
Okay, please be seated. So how can I help you?
Actually, my sister wants guidance regarding entrepreneur.
I'm in 12th standard and I wanted to do something of my own. So can you please tell me what is an entrepreneur?
So to provide an initial idea about this, an entrepreneur is an innovator or a creator who introducing something new to the firm or an economy.
Oh, so what are the eligibility required for becoming an entrepreneur?
Although there is no set educational background to become an entrepreneur, but still if you want to try this as your career, you must have completed your school in 10+2 with any stream and have a bachelor degree.
Oh, now could you please tell me about some of the courses which one can pursue for building a career in entrepreneur?
So some of the courses that one has to be pursued to building a career in entrepreneur. First of all, MBA stands for Master of Business Administration, MSM stands for Master of Science Management, and Bachelor of Applied Arts and Science.
I see. So what are the skills one must possess for becoming a successful entrepreneur?
So some of the very important skills that one should always possess. First of all, communication. Every entrepreneur needs to be having very effective communication. Second, sales. The soft skill of sales goes hand in hand with communication to become a successful entrepreneur. Thirdly, focus. You should be focused and determined to your work and have a feeling of rational work. And the last one is ability to learn. It is one of the most important traits that you must have to become a successful entrepreneur.
Now could you please tell me about some of the famous colleges from where you can pursue the course in it?
Yeah, why not? Some of the colleges are Bharati Vidyapeeth University, IIM Lucknow, NMIMS Institute of Management, and Jain University. You can apply one of these.
Wow, it's great. So what are the entrance exams that we have to pass?
So if you talk about the popular entrance exam in this career, so they are GATE, MAT, SAT, and SNAP.
Oh, now I wanted to know about the main aspect, that is remuneration.
So if you talk about the average salary in this career, so it's range around between 2 lakh to 3 lakh per annum in India. But as you know, future is uncertain, so we cannot easily estimate the profit. But if everything will go in flow, then profit and money will automatically follow a path.
Thank you so much, Divyanka, for this information. Now my each and every doubt is cleared after having this wonderful conversation with you.
Divyanka, I am really grateful to you. Thank you for providing guidance to my sister.
So Megha, move ahead. Be a job giver, not a job seeker.
Thank you.
Following this, the brother and the sister comes back home, and Megha is now following her path to become a successful entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
totally amazed. This was an electrifying way of delineating the information. A kudos to the students of Kamal Model Senior Secondary School.
Indeed, our students have given their best for you. Moving ahead, I would like to take you to another career that is growing globally and give the massive boost that it deserves. Here, we have arranged a panel discussion among students and experts, so let's be a part of it.
Marketing is telling the world that you are a rock star. Digital marketing is showing the world that you are the one. Greetings to all. I, Bhumika Goswami, as a moderator, I'm going to have a panel discussion on digital marketing along with my three panelists, Divyanka as panelist 1, Shabnam as panelist 2, and Rahat as panelist 3. So the motive of a panel discussion is to throw some lights on digital marketing. Digital marketing is a term which is used for target at measurable and interactive marketing of products. So let's begin. Digital marketing is also called as online marketing, and it is the online promotion of brands to connect with the potential customers through internet and various forms of digital communication. So first of all, I want to know about the qualification that a candidate is required to have for building a career in digital marketing. So I request Divyanka to please carry on with the discussion by giving few points on this.
Thank you, Bhumika, for asking this question. As there is no definite set route to become a digital marketer or landing your first job in this career, you need to embark on a rewarding career as a digital marketer. And about qualifications, there must be 2 years of experience in digital marketing, some knowledge of Adobe, and must have an ability to juggle multiple projects at the same time.
So Divyanka, that is alright, but can you please tell us some of the important skills that a candidate must possess for developing a career in this?
Of course, Bhumika. Some of the very important skills that one should always possess. First of all, video production and marketing. Second, content marketing. Third, data analytics. And fourth, search engine optimization. Learning 3 to 4 of this would give you a boost to kickstart your career in digital marketing.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for the information. Everyone knows that for developing a career in a particular field, one needs to clear some exams. So I request Shabnam to throw some light on the exams that one needs to clear for developing a career in this field.
Thank you so much, Bhumika, for asking me this question. Now I would like to brief you all about the entrance exams that one needs to appear for building a career in digital marketing. Various separate entrance exams are conducted for admission in digital marketing. Some of the important entrance exams are MBA and BBA.
Shabnam, could you please make us familiar with the names of those exams that one needs to give?
Yeah, sure. Some of the important post-graduation level exams are CAT, ZAT, MAT, CMAT and SNAP.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. Now, everyone knows that for building a career, we need to pursue some courses from a recognized university or a college. So, I request Rahat to please give some information on the universities and colleges from where we can pursue the course of digital marketing.
Thank you, Bhumika, for giving me this opportunity. Now, I am going to tell you about some of the most famous colleges and universities from where we can pursue MBA for digital marketing, like New Delhi Institute of Management in Ghaziabad, IMT Business School, Navi Mumbai, School of Business in Dehradun, Xavier Institute of Management and Research in Mumbai.
Rahat, I want to know that in which of these colleges most of the candidates prefer going to study?
See, in my views, most of the candidates prefer going to Mumbai because it is the financial capital of our country and more facilities are also there.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Now, one more aspect that struck to my mind is that what salary or remuneration one will get after opting digital marketing as a career. So, Divyanka, I want your opinion on this.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to give this answer just because it's one of the most important aspects that one should always look for it. So if we talk about the average salary in this career, so it's range around between 5 lakh to 6 lakh per annum in India.
Is it fixed or it keeps on fluctuating?
Yeah, the things to remember, it keeps on always fluctuating. As you know, future is uncertain, so we cannot easily estimate the minimum and maximum salary one should expect. But you can demand your salary as per your skills and talent.
Thank you very much for the information, but I'm still a little bit confused in the career options that are offered by the digital marketing field. So, Rahat, would you please take over this?
Yes, why not? Some career options are search engine optimization, pay-per-click, social media marketing, web developer and web designer.
That's good. It is known that for developing a career in something, one looks at the benefits of that career, that what benefit he or she will get after opting that as a career. So Divyanka, I want you to throw some lights on this aspect.
Of course, Bhumika, why not? Some of the main benefits of choosing this as your career: you will become more agile and versatile professional, you will get paid more than the peers, you will get a chance to work with different people every day, and you will become more creative and experimental day by day.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all for imparting so much information with us. At last, I would conclude by saying that the aim of argument or of discussion shouldn't be victory, but it should be progress. I express my deep gratitude towards all the panelists who had such a great discussion with us. I also hope that the information will be useful to everyone, and this panel discussion will have a new meaning in the digital marketing world for us. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your precious time.
Mendis, being a part of this live panel discussion, has given answer to all my queries.
I'm here to assure that all your queries are answered well. With this note, let's take another step and move to the next field, that is graphic design.
There is a student of class 12th who is very much interested in graphic designing. One day, while he was busy in making some design in his school's computer lab, his teacher notices him.
Wow, what a beautiful design it is. Dear, if you have this much interest in the field of graphic designing, then why don't you opt this as your career?
Yes, ma'am, I want to do it, but I don't have enough knowledge about this career. I mean, how to start this.
Don't worry, Arjun. Tomorrow you will come to me. There's one of my students who is expert in this field. I will make you meet with her. She'll guide you about it. Good morning, Bhumika.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
How can I help you?
I want you to help my student Arjun to tackle the situation of choosing his career as he's suffering from the same situation from which you had suffered in your past.
Hello, ma'am. As ma'am told you that I want to build my career in graphic designing, but I'm not aware of the process.
First of all, you need to know what is graphic designing. Graphic designing is a profession or an art of visual communication that combines words, images, and ideas to express information to people. In other words, graphic design is a craft where professionals create visual content to communicate messages.
Ma'am, what is the eligibility criteria to choose this as a career option?
If you are looking for admission in UG courses, you must have cleared at least 12th or higher secondary education from any recognized board.
What are the main skills that one must possess for developing a career in graphic designing?
There are various skills one must possess, such as IT skills, problem-solving ability, communication, basic understanding of HTML, CSS, and other designing languages.
That's great. Is there any different courses available in this option?
Yes, there are, like Advanced Diploma Graphic Design, Certificate in Graphic Design, Graduate Diploma Program, and Postgraduate Diploma Program, and many more are there.
Do you know any government colleges providing these courses?
Many more colleges are there, like NID Ahmedabad, IDC IIT Bombay, Visva Bharati University.
What are the job profiles?
There are many job profiles, like graphic designer, picture editor, web designer, design manager, etc.
What is the expected remuneration in this career?
Your expected remuneration shall be rupees 2.5 lakh per annum.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this information and for giving your precious time.
I would like to end this animation with the quote of one of the famous graphic designer, Milton Glaser. There are three responses to a piece of design: yes, no, and wow. Wow is the one to aim for. Thank you for your attention. Hopes for your better future. Thank you.
Now, my fellow resource person will guide you to the rest of the career fair. Over to you, Bhumika.
Hello, I, Bhumika, will be your resource person for the rest of the career fair. I hope I could answer all your questions well. It's good, that you have visited the career fair of Tamil Model Senior Secondary School, as here we tried to fulfill the dreams of the students by opening doors to a number of future potential opportunities. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Let's move ahead and come to the career, that is IPS and IAS, where an interview is organized with an expert by our students.
pleasant welcome to all of you to the 8th Career Fair of Kamal Model Senior Secondary School. As we know that Civil Service Examinations, CSE, are considered as one of the toughest exams in the world. An aspirant has to maintain high motivational level for minimum period of 2 years. As we know that being an IAS officer is a dream of many students. So here we are having Mr. R.K. Srivastav, born in 1956 in Varanasi, UP. Post-graduated in 1976 in botany from Agra. Also served in Government of India, Ministry of Surface Transport for 5 years. After retirement in the year 2016, was appointed by the Governor of Goa as a state election commissioner, which term got over in 2021. During his entire service, there were remarkable achievements made and always focused on providing an accessible good governance to the people whom he served. Now, he will enlighten our knowledge and tell us all about how to be an IAS officer. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome Mr. R.K. Srivastav.
Thank you.
What are qualifications and skills required to be an IAS officer?
Well, civil services exam, as you've already said, Ananya, they are one of the toughest examinations in the world. That is so regarded. But I can tell you, if you have a strong determination, if you have a strong will, there is nothing which is difficult. Second thing, qualification means examination pattern is such that you have to write examination twice. You have to appear twice before getting selected for a final interview. The qualification means you have to be basically a graduate. You can be a graduate either in arts, science, commerce, any field. Now, many doctors and engineers, after doing their MBBS or BTech degree, they compete for civil services exam. So that means even after becoming a doctor or engineer, they feel that the civil services examination will provide them a very high level of satisfaction in the career. So they come and join the civil services. So basically a graduation. If you talk of skills are multifarious. Skills can be achieved at any point of time in life. Okay, you should be well versed in oratory. You must have a good oratory skill. You must have a good skill of understanding the problems and the issues. You should be able to respond to a situation quickly.
Very informative, sir. My next question is, would you like to tell us what would be the pattern of preparation of CAC exams?
Pattern of examination is like this. There are two levels of examination. One is a prelims exam. We call it prelims, preliminary examination, where lakhs of students they appear. It is all objective type of test is held. There are two papers. One is of GK, general knowledge, general studies as we call, and another is one subject which you can choose from your academic curriculum profile, whatever educational background you have. There you have to write the papers. The first exam was objective type. In a second examination, you will have to write two papers of general studies, two subject papers, then two language paper, basic English and another language. People can pick up Tamil, Malayalam, Punjabi or Assamese, Bengali. So many languages that are there in Indian Constitution. So one language paper, one general English paper, two subject papers. That's how the mains exam is structured. Then comes the final level of interview or a personality test. Now in interview or personality test, they don't go by your color, size, height or whatever. They simply go by what type of abilities you have to handle a particular situation. After a final judgment, interview is over. Then they compile the marks that you have obtained in interview, personality test and the written exam, and a merit list is prepared. And depending on the number of seats, sometimes there are 700 seats, total seats. You don't only qualify to IAS, but the same exam, as we call it, civil services exam, gets you qualified for two other Indian, national services. which is IPS, Indian Police Service, and Indian Foreign Service. We call it Bharatiya Videsh Seva. So top people generally prefer to go for IAS, IFS also, Foreign Service also. Then there are people who are selected for IPS depending on the merit. Then there are a lot of other services, lots of other services are there. Railway services are there, customs is there, excise is there, income tax is there. So the people get selected depending on their merit. Nothing is tough. People in this country have cut the rock mountains single-handed and they have paved the way for others. So nothing is tough. Remove that doubt. You have to be consistent. You have to be determined. You can crack the exam.
Sure, sir. My next question is, how your family and friends supported you during the time you need them?
My family and friends are always standing beside me. My wife had done a lot of sacrifice. My family had done a sacrifice. When I am working, I am working. So I took care of them. They took care of me. They were all very supportive and they were very, very elated when I got into the service.
Wow. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is also a great driving force. One has to do a lot of hard work to earn money. As we have now talked about money, so would you tell us what would be the remuneration of an IAS officer?
You know, I think this service provides you the best possible, pay packet. Now, money is not everything. Money is very important, but money is not everything. In civil services, what you get is the best of the skills available. If you enter the service, perhaps somebody will be drawing around 70,000 rupees per month. Okay. But if the same qualification, somebody is an engineer or a doctor, if he goes for a private service in a private sector or any other good company, he will earn not less than 3 times, maybe 10 times, depending on the place where he is in. But the opportunities that are available to a civil servant are not available there. I consider money is not everything. Basic thing is, if you live for yourself, if you have this type of philosophy that I have to live for myself, then money is everything. But if your motivation is to work for others, live for others, then money is secondary. Money is not the only concern.
Last but not the least, who was your inspiration and why you wanted to be an IAS officer?
Okay, as I told you in the beginning, I wanted a career in the education. I was a lecturer. My motivational factor came from my father and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was a professor in geography in Banaras University. And as I speak to you, I am still in Banaras, sitting in the same house. Today, incidentally, I am here. But otherwise, I am based in Delhi. Okay, I came down here for 3 days. So my motivational split came from my great mother-in-law. She was a great geographer. And she only saw something in me and she said, why don't you take chance? And I competed for it and got into it. She was my inspiration. And I didn't write any inspiration or motivation from any civil servant, to be very honest with you.
Magnificent. So, we know you have busy schedules. Thank you for giving your precious time to us and sharing such valuable knowledge. It was great to have you with us. And I must say that your words must have inspired many of us. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Related to humanities?
No, it is an interdisciplinary course, thus anyone can pursue this field by giving the national level exam, that is UPSC.
I was familiar with this UPSC exam, but was not familiar with the eligibility criteria. Thanks for providing this information.
Now let's move forward to the career, that is SSC, Staff Selection Commission. For this interview, we have a great personality with us, Ms. Rashmi Amanchanda, who cleared the SSC examination and currently working as a Class 1 Gazetted Officer in GNCT in Delhi as Assistant Commissioner GST. Our students have organized an interview, so let's watch it and know more about this career by her experience.
A warm welcome to all. Myself Akshat and I welcome you all to our show Dare to Dream. In today's highly competitive world, it is very difficult for a person to clear government exam. Qualifying SSC can be a desire for many as it provides an honest job and a well-secured life. Today, we have Miss Rashmi Manchanda, who cleared SSC examination. Presently, she is working as a Class 1 Gazette Officer in GNCT of Delhi as Assistant Commissioner, GST. Today, she is here with us to share her success story. First of all congratulations to you, ma'am, for this great achievement.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, could you please tell us about the beginning of your journey, as in how you made the mind to go into this field? What was your inspiration?
Yeah, well, basically, my parents had been my inspiration. My father retired as a government officer. My mother was also in an undertaking in an office job. So I used to feel good looking at them. I thought I could make a difference to the lives of common people if I would be a part of the policymakers. So that was the main inspiration. And one thing my father used to tell me that you don't get married unless and until you are financially secure. So that was a big motivation for me.
He gave you a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, ma'am. Ma'am, would you elaborate on the features of this profession?
Basically, mine is based in Delhi itself. We get transferred to various departments within Delhi itself, like Food and Supplies Department, Education, Health and Family Welfare. So basically, it's kind of administrative and desk job, but majority of them are public dealing departments also. So you get to go to field jobs also sometimes.
That's great. Ma'am, what is the qualification required to appear for this exam? Is there any mandatory skills needed?
Yeah, qualification. Actually, SSC is conducting different kind of examinations. For example, one is CHSL, that is combined higher secondary level examination, for which you have to be 12th pass. And then there is a CGL, that is combined graduate level examination. As the name suggests, you have to be graduate for it. And nowadays, majority of exams, they need some basic computer skills, maybe an average of 35 words per minute of typing and some basic computer knowledge. That is essential.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, that's very informative. Ma'am, if somebody wants to give SSC exam, what should he or she knows before starting to prepare for this exam?
Well, of course, before starting to prepare for the examinations, you should know your qualification. Based on your qualifications, you should know the eligibility, for what examinations you are eligible, and then you should know the time schedule. You should be aware when to apply, how to apply, and what are the last dates for which you have to, up to which date you have to apply for the examinations. You can subscribe to some newspapers like the Employment News, or you can subscribe to some regular emails from these websites so as not to miss any date.
Yeah, those are the main important things.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, is it necessary to take coaching, or one can catch it to self-study? Which books would you recommend for the same?
Based on my personal experience, I would say yes, you should go for coaching, but only for few months maybe. After that, your self-motivation, self-study, that is more important. When I used to go for the coaching, so we used to sit together after the class was over. We used to sit together at one friend's place and we used to discuss the things together. And after that, in the evening, I used to self-study also. So these two things are important. Just go for coaching only for few months, and then self-study is the most important thing. And basically about books you are asking, reading newspapers, that is the best thing for improving your GK, for improving your, English. Otherwise, if you need to buy books, you may go for N.N. Martin, maybe Norman Lewis, and maybe Lucents, Lucents. Lucents is for GK also, for English also. For maths, you can go for Dr. R.S. Agarwal. And for reasoning, maybe any book and by any, author, but by Arihant Publications. Those books are very nice.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
That would be like really helpful for those who are confused which method to study from. What are the different job opportunities he or she would be getting after attaining good results?
Basically, Staff Selection Commission, it conducts examination for the post of Group B and Group C categories. That may include a variety of posts, like even for teachers, constables in Delhi Police, and for nurses, even for steno cadre posts, and LDC, that is for junior assistant, then senior assistant, even statistical posts, auditors post. So varied kind of posts are there.
Okay, ma'am. That's amazing. What would be the remuneration if he or she would be receiving?
That would be based on the post as well as the grade pay that is relevant to the post. It may vary anywhere between 19,000 to 35,000 maybe starting salary gross. That's not bad.
That's amazing. What are the biggest challenges that you foresee in this profession?
Biggest challenges may be sometimes, shortage of manpower. Maybe we are doing majority of work online today. but still manpower is needed. We need professionals sometimes. So sometimes during office job, we face some kind of technical glitches on the portal. Sometimes internet is slow, internet is down. So these kind of problems. And sometimes majority of the departments, as I told you, are public dealing departments. So you get to interact with different kind of people daily. You have to be really patient sometimes.
I believe that will make people like learn a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as we are proceeding towards the end of this show, what would be the advice for the aspirants who are at various stages of their preparation?
Self-motivation and focus. Focus is the main key. Just remember this word. Nowadays, you people have got so many things to get distracted, mobile phones, Netflix and whatnot. So you really have to be motivated and focused if you want to achieve something in life.
Yeah, that shows where you are right now, ma'am. Your hard work.
Thank you so much. So just stay focused. That's it.
Yes, sir. I will really be. Thank you so much for your valuable words. It was really nice talking to you. And
Thank
I'm
you
sure
so
all
much.
those who are watching this show got to know,
And all the best to you.
about the SSC.
All the best to you and all the best to all the
Thank
aspirants.
you. Personally, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Rashmi ma'am explained everything so well. I have heard about some of her interviews and also read some of her interviews in newspapers, but listening to her live voice was a tremendous experience. Thanks for providing this information.
That was indeed absolutely great. Now I will take you to an animation made by our students in which they're going to focus on all the aspects required for becoming a lawyer.
Two friends are passing through court and are very curious to know about the profession of lawyer in the court. They met with a lawyer and asked him to brief them about this career. Career in law in India is considered as one of most sought career. People have different motives to opt for a career as a lawyer. Several do it for money and fame, others opt this career to help out innocents. Career as a lawyer suits everyone who is responsible enough to handle legal tasks and is curious enough to reach to depth of the truth of this matter. There are various types of lawyer like criminal lawyer, legal analyst, document drafting lawyer, government lawyer, and many other options are in there.
Sir, you have explained very well about this profession. Kindly tell me about the essential qualification and skills required for this profession.
A candidate must have cleared 10 plus 2 from a recognized board with a minimum of 45% of marks from any stream. After appearing in 10 plus 2 examination, you will are required to register for appearing in law interest examination. The common law interest test, that means CLET, is accepted for admission in 22 national universities across India. Skills required for this career are good communication skills, analytical skills, and also critical thinking ability.
Sir, could you name some of the colleges from where I can pursue?
So, some of famous colleges are in India are NLU Bangalore, NLU Delhi, NLU Hyderabad, and Faculty of DU, etc.
Want to know about the job opportunities and remunerations?
Demand for a lawyer is expected to continue as individuals, business, and all levels of the government required legal services in many areas. The remuneration is about 5 to 10 lakh INR.
Thank you, sir, for giving such an important information and give your precious time. And now I definitely think about it.
Small query to ask. Can we pursue this course after 12th?
Yes, there are many colleges and institutes that offer an integrated law degree where you can pursue LLB and LLM together.
That's amazing. One of my relatives is willing to pursue mass communication. So if you can tell me about it, it will be really helpful.
Sure, I will take you to the stall of mass communication. Basically, Mass Communication School opens a plethora of opportunities for students in various fields such as advertising, journalism, etc. Students have prepared a presentation on it, so let's watch and know more about it.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah,
Sir, what do you think? How the liquidity can be checked?
I think that the government has to take the special measure to check the liquidity.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Are you a journalist?
Yes, I am.
I'm really motivated with this career.
Oh, that's nice.
I recently passed 12th standard and now I want to choose a career in mass communication.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Vani.
Okay. Vani, please come to my office tomorrow.
Okay.
Next day, in our office.
Hello.
Hello. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you doing, Vani?
I'm good. And you?
We are also doing great. So what you were asking me yesterday?
I'm asking about mass communication. So can you please tell me about mass communication?
Yes, sure. Mass communication is a course related to how living entities relay information to a large segment of population at the same time. This course, in a collective term, has a series of options like web journalism, radio jockey, anchoring, and many options are there.
Oh, many options are there. But what are the qualification and skills required for this?
Qualification required for this profession are anyone who has completed their 12th in any stream and got 50% marks can pursue their degree in Bachelor of Journalism. Skills required for this profession are interpersonal skills, digital journalism, confidence, research skills, and few more.
Okay. And which are the institutions from where I can do the course?
Oh, that's a nice question. So for that, you can go to Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi, and Film and Television Institute, Pune.
Okay. And what are the job opportunities and remuneration of a journalist?
After completing my degree in Bachelor of Journalism, I got job as a proofreader. You can be a columnist, proofreader, or professor, etc. The starting salary of a journalist is 38,000 INR and later increase on.
Okay, nice. Can you please tell me about the career as an editor?
Vani, meet my colleague. She's an editor. For your further queries, she will help you.
Okay, thank you. Hello. What's about the career as an editor?
Yeah, an editor plan review and revise the content for publication. Most of editors work in offices, whether on-site with their employers or from a remote location. Editor review the stories, ideas, and decide what material will appeal most to readers. Content editor, photo editor, video editor are some type of these editors.
Okay. And what are the qualifications required for this?
Qualification is same as of journalist.
Okay. And what are the skills required?
Editor must be creative, curious and knowledgeable in a broad ranges of topics, possess interpersonal skills and writing skills.
And which are the famous institutions?
Yeah, famous institutions are Film and Television Institute in Pune and Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi.
Okay. Can I ask you one last question, please?
Yeah, sure.
What is the salary package of an editor?
Average base pay is 30,000 per month.
Okay. Thank you for giving me such an important information. I will definitely think about it.
Okay. Thank you.
My mind is made upon one of the career options I can pursue after 12th.
There's one more career opportunity waiting for you in today's journey, and that is psychologist. You might have heard of it. And to be very honest, in today's century, psychology is a vital field because of the increasing focus on mental health and well-being. We have organized an interview with a well-known counselor and a psychologist, Dr. Sunita Devi. She is a consultant psychologist counselor. So let's see to it and know more about her experience for this career.
Hello and welcome to our Talk to Expert show. I am delighted to announce that Dr. Sunita Devi, one of the renowned clinical psychologists, is here among us. She has been working as a consultant psychologist for the past 20 years. She has also done PhD in psychology and gold medalist in rehabilitation psychology from NIMS. Dr. Sunita, your experience is too long to adore in this short period of time. So kindly allow me to welcome you from the Kamal Group of Institutions.
Thank you so much, Mansi, and I'm so happy to join you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Respected ma'am, please tell us something about your profession.
Mansi, I'm right now I'm working as a senior consultant in Manodarpan, which is initiative by Ministry of Education, run by NCRT. And for the past 20 years, I'm in this field and I'm enjoying thoroughly being a mental health professional.
How nice. Coming to the next. Every one of us is eager to know about your educational journey.
Okay, Mansi. Mansi, I started my journey from being a medical profession. Then I switched over to psychology because I was working in one of the residential school, and their experiences with the students made me think that mental health is one of the most important criteria to live a healthy and effective life and productive life. So experiences with the children made me think and pursue my master's in psychology. So I'm not a graduate in psychology, but I did my master's in psychology, and that too in clinical psychology. And then later on, I did my advanced diploma in child guidance and counseling. So a specialization was in child guidance and counseling. Later on, I realized that dealing with special needs children also requires certain kind of special skills. So I did my MPhil in psychology from rehabilitation psychology from one of the best institute in India, which is National Institute for Mentally Handicapped, which is the name has been changed now, and now it is called National Institute for Empowering People with Intellectual Disability, so NIPID, in Secunderabad. And recently I have finished my PhD in psychology from IGNOU.
That's amazing. Dr. Sunita, what was your first thought which came in your mind when you decided to become a clinical psychologist?
Mansi, as we were discussing that physical health is something which everyone looks after and takes care. Even if you get sick, suppose you get a fever and all, immediately your parents will be concerned, your teachers will be concerned, you will be sent to home, or your parents will take you to a doctor, so physical health still we take care, but mental health, if you say that I get angry very easily, or I'm upset and I'm very sad about something, so parents will say, oh, nothing happens, this is the mood, it will change. So parents, teachers and the people around us do not take care of mental health. So that was the point where I decided that this is something which we need to propagate, which we need to highlight the importance of mental health, because mind is in your head, right? And head controls each and every part of your body. So if you are mentally healthy, definitely you will be mentally, emotionally, physically, socially healthy and living your life in a much productive way.
Wow. So according to you, what are the skills that a clinical psychologist should possess?
When we say clinical psychology, again in India, it is not a very clear demarcation. Although we get specialized in clinical psychology, child psychology, counseling psychology, organization psychology. So there are different branches. So clinical psychologists basically deal with the people who are having mental illness, or who are having some kind of mental disorder, so that population, like if the child person is having anxiety, if the person is having mood disorder, or he or she is having some suicidal ideation, he doesn't want to live, so, and if the person is having alcohol, so all these disorders comes under the work profile of a clinical psychologist. We also have the counseling psychology, where we deal with more normal people who are dealing with emotional and motivational issues. So in India, we have clinical psychologists who are also working in schools, who are working in hospitals, who are working in their own clinic, private practice as well. So there are lots of space, lots of places where you can work as a clinical psychologist. And what skills we require as a clinical psychologist, it's very important to have the empathy. when you start understanding what the person must be going through, what the family must be going through with this kind of disorder or with this kind of mental health. So it's very important to have the non-judgmental attitude. We don't have to judge people because people will be coming from different background. So non-judgmental attitude, empathetic attitude, passion for helping people. So definitely love for people and ready to help them is important skills.
I think it's really full of interesting for you. And now my next question is that what were the challenges which you faced in your job and in your life?
Mansi, the challenges when we talk about life doesn't come without challenges, whether it's a profession or it's your otherwise life, personal, professional life, we all have the challenges. So being a psychologist, being a clinical psychologist have made me help myself in the first place. Because when we teach, when we study psychology, when we teach psychology, lots of things get clear for yourself. So it really helps you to grow as a person in your life as well as in your profession. So it helps me to be more reflective, more like when I deal with people, it helps me to how other people think and how they will react and change my behavior. So this is something which really helps me to take care of any challenge. The challenges which I the stigma, as we are discussing that mental health is something which people do not want to talk about. They want to hide, because if you say that I want to seek a counselor or I want to go and seek a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist, everyone will say iska dimag kharab ho gaya ya iska ye pagal ho gayi. Isliye it's not that when you have some illness, then only you have to seek a psychologist help. You can also improve yourself, because suppose you say that I'm not very good in communication. This is not mental illness, right? But this is something, a limitation of a human being, and you want to improve on that. So a psychologist can help you how you can improve on your communication skills, how you can improve your personality. So the stigma definitely is a big challenge to be in this profession. Number two is, as we discussed, that it is a social service. Initially, it may not be very highly paying job. So people who feel that these IIT people, they are earning so much money and I will initially have the very high packages. So the people will be disappointed with that. Initially, you have to have the passion for people, and then later on, once you have the name, fame, and you have experience, then definitely money will be respectable, money will be there. But initially money is not so good. So if you have a passion for social service and passion for helping people, you're most welcome in this.
Ma'am, your efforts are really beyond description. And so who is your role model? I mean, who inspired you to do this noble profession?
Mansi, the thing is, when I was a child, as of your age and maybe younger than you, I was very much influenced by my grandmother, which was my Nani ji. She was so wise in the teachings which she has taught me. When I study psychology, it's there in the books and it's there in the psychology field. So I really wonder, like, how the wisdom of the previous people. So my role model was definitely my Nani ji.
Oh, from knowing this much about you, I think you are my role model from now. And last but not the least question, we all know in today's world, money matters everywhere. So our young aspirants are willing to know that what is the range of earning and what are the career opportunities in India as well as abroad.
Right. Initially, the person may not earn much. The starting salary may be around 20-25. But with 4 or 5 years of experience, definitely you reach to 60-70,000, which is quite respectable. And as we say, this is a profession for social service. This is a profession which will give you lots of satisfaction and definitely the respectable salary part. So starting salary after masters around 20-25, and there's no upper limit, because there are people who are working in multinational companies, people who are having their private practice, they are earning up to 90,000, 1 lakh and all. And you can go after doing clinical psychology, you can go also in teaching, like a teacher in the school, or you can work as an assistant professor in the universities. You can have your own practice. You can work in hospitals. You can work with multinational companies in hiring people for and taking care of their mental health. So scope is very, very wide and opportunities are many, but the only thing is initially may not be very high paying profession, but the satisfaction which you achieve by helping people is beyond the measure of money. So I think we should go for that.
Oh, so I'm sure, having heard about Dr. Sunita, many of us feel excited to enter this noble task. And thank you, ma'am, for extracting some out of your precious time and giving us so much great experiences and information. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Mansi, and I hope little information which I have given will help children to pursue this noble profession and help people in taking care of their mental health and the society as a whole. Thank you so much.
It was great. I'm glad to have attended this career fair of Kamal Model Senior Secondary School. I was here with a career option to pursue, but leaving with a bunch of it. It helped me a lot, and definitely I'm going to recommend it to my friends as well.
Happy to help and show you path towards your future. Thanks for joining and staying tuned on second day of 8th Career Fair of Tamil Model Senior Secondary School. We hope that you all have gained something from this event.